Hi there people, hope you're doing well. So I was one of the lucky few that had the opportunity to touch and try a pre-production unit of the R10 and R7 during a Canon event here in Croatia. Since those were pre-production units, I couldn't keep any files, unfortunately. In this video I'm gonna share my initial thoughts about the R10 and few words about the new lenses. Right away, I have to say I didn't expect the R10 to be so small. It's slightly larger than the M50, considering it has the RFS mount, which is basically the same size as the RF mount. It's a really impressive size. And if you combine the R10 with the RFS 18 to 45, you get a really small and interesting bundle. The body itself has a recognizable Canon design. It features two dials and a joystick, which was a really pleasant surprise considering that the joystick is something that you can find only on more expensive Canon bodies. Unfortunately, the body doesn't have the weather sealing like the R7, but still, I think from my experience of using Canon cameras, Canon holds pretty well against dust and moist, so you don't have to worry a lot. And if you plan to shoot in really harsh conditions, just buy a cover or any type of protection while you're using it. Another thing that is new to this body is in the front of the camera, next to the lens mount, you can find a new switch where you can turn on or off the autofocus, which is really interesting and I really like it. But unfortunately, it doesn't share the same on-off switch like the R7, which allows you to turn on the camera and then switch from video and photo with one click. This camera has like a normal dial like the R6 or RP have, so you have to do half of the circle to get from video to photo. It also features a smaller battery than the R7. I think that's the same battery that the RP has, or probably some of the Rebel series cameras. And it has only one card slot, the SD card slot that is located next to the battery. One thing that I didn't expect is the Digic X processor that this camera got. So basically it shares the same processor like the R3, which is top of the line camera, and that is, I think, crazy. It also has a new 24 megapixel sensor according to Canon, which is actually nice considering that I used to have the M50 that also had a 24 megapixel sensor and the image quality was pretty good. And this should be slightly better considering it's a new sensor, and also it will work combined with the Digic X processor, so I expect to see better results regarding image quality. Unfortunately, R10 doesn't have the IBIS like the R7, but considering the battery size, the size of the camera and the price, I think that was expected. But what it does feature is the new dual pixel autofocus version 2, so basically it has the same autofocus like the R7 and more impressive like the R3. This autofocus is incredible. It will allow you to track animals, vehicles, people. It will stick to the eyes of the subject, and you will have so many sharp images because of these amazing autofocus that new Canon cameras have. So if you combine that autofocus with the 15 frames per second mechanically that this camera is able to do and 24 electronically, it will be really hard to miss a shot. This camera has a lot of neat features. Right away I can say this is probably the best value entry-level / backup camera body for all those sport shooters and wildlife shooters. I think that's a lot of features for not that much money. And if you are a video shooter, this will be also interesting. You get all the autofocus features that you get in the photo mode, so all the tracking is there. You get autofocus that the R3 has in video mode also. This camera can shoot 4K downsampled from 6K up to 30 frames per second, and it can shoot 4K up to 60 frames per second, but I think that's line skip, and it is cropped, so I think 68% crop, but still usable. And also you can shoot 1080p up to 120 frames per second, which is really nice. Unfortunately, the camera cannot record record in C-Log 3, so no 10-bit colors. There is maybe 10-bit if you are shooting HDR footage, but in regular modes there is no 10-bit. I think it's a slight miss from Canon not allowing this camera to shoot 4K up to 60. Maybe that's because of the smaller battery or smaller body because of the overheating, but no matter the 4K 60 cropped, this camera is really good vlogging solution. It is small, it offers high quality 4K up to 30. It has a new hot shoe mount that allows you to just put the Canon mic on without any cables and without any worries about the batteries, which is really nice. So considering the small size, I think it's gonna be really popular among the vloggers. And if you are a live streamer, it has a clean HDMI out, and also it doesn't have any record limit, so you can record until you fill up your card or empty your batteries. And the heat management is much better than the one on the R5 and R6. I have to mention the new lenses. Although these are entry-level lenses and there is nothing new and crazy about them, I think they're still interesting. I have to say I like the size of the RFS 18-45. It's really small, especially when it's not in use. So when you use it, it extracts, so it becomes double the size. But when you don't use it, it's really small and compact. And combined with the R10, it's really nice and small package, which is really beneficial for traveling and hiking. The RFS 18-150 is also interesting considering the reach. It offers equivalent to full frame lens 28-250 I think, which is really beneficial because you don't have to change the lens and you can capture almost anything. Although there were only 2 RFS lenses released with these cameras, I think there is enough of old Canon EF and EFS glass that you can easily adapt using an adapter, and you will not basically lose anything from those lenses. Actually, they will probably work better than with the DSLR bodies. And if you want to use RF lenses that are not expensive, there are some good choices like the RF16 2.8, the RF35 1.8, and RF50 1.8. These lenses are not that expensive, they are small, and they will offer a decent image quality for the R10 and R7 also. Altogether, this is a really exciting release from Canon. The R10 will be a really popular choice for all the people thinking about getting into the Canon mirrorless system, especially if you consider how many of high professional features you get. And also the small size and all these features will be a huge benefit for all the travel-oriented content creators. And also for all the people that are enthusiasts in sport photography, wildlife photography, bird photography, any type of photography where you need high-speed performance, and this camera is packed with that. Also, this camera is excellent for hiking and traveling. I think I will probably buy one just to have a backup when I'm doing my hiking projects, because every gram is important in your bag when you're doing long distance hikes. I just have to say this camera is insane considering the price and all the features you get in. So I hope this was interesting to you. If it was good, please leave a like. If it was really good, please subscribe, share this, and if you have any questions regarding the R10 or R7, please leave them down there in the comment section. I will gladly respond to those, and hope to see you in the next one. Bye!